which, which are, it's the nature of our business to adjust to whatever is out there. Okay, I mean, so if you have a Trump administration, you obviously study the Trump administration, dissect it, figure out who are the players, what makes them move, you know, how do you make your pitch, what are their sensitivities. So it's, in a sense, a universal proposition. I mean, diplomacy is about studying foreign governments, countries, administrations, and figuring out how to get your work done. Now, I quite take your point that there's a contrast between Trump and Biden. You know, you study it and decide how to adjust your, you know, your working methods and your agenda and your articulation and, in a sense, your tactics.
Is it a fair assessment from the outside that the Modi government would have been more comfortable continuing to work with the Trump administration than it is working with the Democrat administration, which wherever it gets an opportunity likes to raise issues sometimes which the Indian government or the ruling party doesn't find very happy to have to engage with?
No, look, you know, my first experience with Prime Minister Modi engaging the United States was not with Trump, it was with Obama. Okay. Now, I want you to go back when Trump won the election. And if you check back, many of you actually said it's going to be very difficult for Indians to deal with Trump. Okay. Then, when the next guy wins the election, all of you say it's going to be very difficult for the Indians to deal with Biden. Now, I hate to disappoint you. We're going to be actually fairly good at dealing with whoever's out there. That's our job.
So, we've all seen Yes Minister. You're amongst those very few who's been on both sides of the table. Give everyone sitting here some insights, and you can let your guard down and bat like Sehwag for a moment, on the difference between being, say, Foreign Secretary and Foreign Minister. I'm curious to know which one do you enjoy more, which is the trickier job, and what kind of insights do you have?
Well, actually, you know, I've done 3 of those jobs, which is the Minister Hacker job, the Appleby job, but I've also done the Bernard job, which is being the special assistant to the minister. Now, if you refer to Yes Minister and then tell somebody, let your guard down, the Appleby in me comes out, you know. So, look, it's a different role, it's a different kind of, I would say, in a sense, a different mindset. To me, the big change was once you are political, once you're a minister, you are actually less departmental. You have a much greater exposure to the bigger picture. I mean, for starters, for example, when you sit in cabinet meetings, you have a full 360 view of the government, all the departments, what are the concerns. So you tend to see your own responsibilities in that light. Whereas if you are a secretary of a department, however enlightened you are, at the end of the day, you are very much, I won't say a prisoner of your department, but a champion of your department. So it is a difference. It is a difference. It is an evolution in a way. Obviously, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't be doing it.
Which one did you enjoy more?
I always enjoy most what I'm doing currently.
See, that's the advantage of being a diplomat. Not one comma, full stop out of place. You can't get him swishing outside the off stop and get him caught behind. That's not going to happen.
One question again on your personal experience. Is there anything as a diplomat that you would have changed in terms of your minister in the past, of decisions taken that you thought you would have done differently now that you're a minister?
I've never thought about it that way, but I do want to tell you that, and I say this particularly of recent times, look, good ministries, good government in a way, runs very much on the basis of the minister and the secretary sort of working as a team. And when I was foreign secretary, I had Shashmaji as my minister, and we got along very, very well. I mean, you cover the beach, so you've actually seen it. And foreign policy being what it is also in all countries. You know, foreign policy today very much involves the executive head of the government. So the prime minister in our country is also very deeply involved. And as we get bigger, more capable, more global, that is something which is natural. It's not unique to us. In every country, every society, that has happened. So I would say almost, it's not like you do something as a secretary which you don't know as a minister, or it's a very, very collaborative kind of decision making, but by very nature, or at least everything important tends to be by definition very, very collaborative. So maybe when I look back, not really. I think I'll be quite pleased with what we did.
A very collaborative partnership, but if I could ask you, Minister, were there any things that you didn't expect when you became a minister? Were there any surprises? Did you find that there were certain things that looked different when you were Foreign Secretary, but you had a completely different perspective about in terms of the machinery when you're minister?
Well, I mean, first of all, I didn't expect to become a minister. So, I mean, that was the first surprise. When I did, look, I had one great advantage, okay? To be minister of a department which you have kind of grown up in is a huge advantage. And especially so in our case because, the Foreign Service is a one ministry service, okay? I mean, I worked in some other places outside, but by and large. So, you know your organization very, very well. I mean, it's actually you come up that organization. That's an enormous advantage. Now, the downside of that is you then also need to liberate yourself from the day-to-days of that organization. You have to tell yourself when you're External Affairs Minister that you're not Foreign Secretary, that you detach yourself from a lot of that, which I think I've tried.
You start rewriting statements ever?
That's not a secretary or a ministerial.
I know, but when it comes to you, if you decide that you want to make some changes, and
it's always collaborative. So, but look, the initial days there is a transition, but I think I adjusted to it fairly quickly. And remember, a lot of I was learning new things as a political person. So I also, I couldn't be stuck in my old world. I mean, I had a new world I had entered, and I had a lot of learning out there. So a lot of my interest and energies went into that. So I think that's how I made the transition.
Just one, don't be guarded, just one honest answer on a mistake that you thought you made as a minister and a learning of sorts.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you tell me? Because honestly, as I said, the number of times you talk to each other, we are far more interactive than actually you people would imagine. So, I mean, if you're asking me whether decisions you made which you would have revisited, there could be, But they were not my decisions as a secretary or somebody else's decision as a minister. They were our decisions. And that's been very much, I would say, in a way, a hallmark of also the Modi government. I mean, it's a very, very, there's a lot of emphasis put on team effort, on, you use sports analogy, okay? It's a very team-driven way of working. Not just between minister and secretary, but even between ministers. I mean, I think what I see, I mean, how much time I spend with my ministerial colleagues working out larger foreign policy issues, say finance, trade, health, civil aviation.